The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a step. And that first step for me was attending a 7-day digital bootcamp, which transformed my life and changed the way I thought forever.
The journey to revolution.
The journey
evening class. How are we all doing today? If you can hear me, just like indicate that you can hear me in the comment section. I'm not saying what that's indicating. Okay, good evening to for me. Thank you. All right, thank you, precious. Okay, you can all hear me. How's our weekend today? Hope we're excited for like the new week. And some people will be like, another week of 2 hours. Okay. What is this one? I know some people will be thinking, another 2 hours again every day for like 3 days a week. All right. Thank you very much, everyone. So I remember that I did give an assignment or some assignments last week as take home, like not to submit, but just to share with me. Thank you. Thank you very much, Derek. Two quality hours. Yes, they're actually quality hours. I mean, quality hours of our time, quality hours of your time, because what you are gaining, like, trust me, is really, 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 really impactful. So, so who attempted the take home exercise? If you did, let me know, and let me know some of the things that you worked on. Let me know some of the things you worked on. Okay, classic exercise. So, like, all the things that you were able to do. I think trying to remember some of the questions off the top of my head. Let me just open it on my screen so I can. I know I asked you to choose a business and define the goals. Or what are the goals of your business? Okay, what are your persona for your brand persona? Okay, yeah, okay. So what have you known so far to film your target audience? Give me a second. I'm trying to like set up the slides. That's what it is. Fidelity says you worked on this page and it's in tangible results. I'm still here. Yeah, don't worry. Yes, in the right country, yet I'm still here. I'm just having like telling you trying to share this slides, to share my screen. So, just to get into it, today we're going to actually look at something interesting. Okay, before I go back, let me just look at some of your assignments before. Yeah. So how do you know exactly where your audience or target clients are, the channels that are so far? You can do research and look at like, okay, what is the age range of your target audience? The age range, TikTok has like an age range that a lot of people go to. Instagram have their own age range. Facebook have their own age range. So do your research on your target audience, and you're going to know where your target audience, where your target audience are. Today we're going to do something really exciting. Now, talking about like websites optimization, website UX UI optimization basics, and also understanding sales funnel. So he's going to come in for like the remainder of the class. Yeah. But before I go into it, before I go into like what is that, I have a question I'd like to ask. How many of you have actually bought um, a product before? So how many of you have you actually bought something that you probably hated after you bought it? Maybe it was like a device or a food, an item, and you bought it and like you regretted it, like as you bought it, you hated it, like nah, this is not what you wanted. How many of you have like just give me a scenario or something like that? And maybe you expect it probably was a shoe, probably was a clothes. Okay, someone says air brand. I know some of you might have bought wigs. Probably you bought. Her daughter said she has. Like, what did you get? I'd like to know where you go. Oh, my appliances. Uchi said Temu shocked me. Someone said wig. Someone said the phone. Okay, that's really interesting. Okay, it's nice to know. So before I continue, Toby is here. Toby, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Hi everyone. I don't think I'm on stage now.
Yeah, you can hear you.
Oh, you can hear me. Okay.
Yes,
Hello
yes, yes.
everyone. I'm good. All right. We're going to have an amazing night today.
Yeah.
There are
Okay.
a lot of people have been. Okay. All right.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, I'm like there are a lot of people that they pass through, they bought things and they do like yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, let's move on from like the products now that you've seen. What about like an app or a website that you opened and you were like, no. Maybe you downloaded an app and the app was not even fine. Like you downloaded the app and immediately just threw you off. If you have like any suggestions in that regard, let me know. So maybe you downloaded an app and the app threw you off. Like you're like, ah no, or you open the website and you're like, oh, you've ordered air straightener before, like give me, so it's so annoying. Rondo. Someone said the updated boom player. Okay. Someone said WPS. WPS did not highlight it. Yeah, sorry about that. Movie box. Okay. OP has a wonderful UX, but I just cannot stand their UI. Okay. Okay. All right. No problem. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. The games that pop up after downloading. Okay. Yeah, that's nice. So now I want you to imagine something now. These things you got, you hated it. Imagine if you were the digital marketer that was in charge of it. How do you think the person that's in charge of digital marketing, that is selling it, that is in charge of the whole, probably the whole marketing team, is selling this product, selling it to people? How do you think they would feel? So that's one thing I want you to reflect on today as we're going into like what I want to talk and teach us. So we have to understand that like in as much as we are digital marketers, we have to have like basic understanding of different various fields also that are related to what we do. Because if the product is bad, then our marketing is not going to be good because once people hear about it, there are going to be bad reviews. We are going to even go into probably go into word of mouth marketing and referral marketing into the course of this program. We have to understand that like you can't market something that is good, that is terrible, that is bad. You can only market something that is good. And you have to understand some of how all these things work. So that like when you move into digital marketing properly, when you're working for a team, and your boss comes and tell you that digital marketing ads are coming, it's not converting everything. Sometimes the fault might not be from your own aspect. It might be from like okay, another team that's probably in charge of design or in charge of something else, and you might not know. So being able to know the basics of these things is what is going to help you. And over the course of today and tomorrow, a lot of the things that will be taking you through are things that are going to help you, like in this particular thing I just spoke about, knowing when something is wrong, knowing that like okay, you have to market a good product, knowing the stages and the journey of a customer, and also knowing how to actually check for things that are wrong. Customer will be moving into the analytics part. So now we're starting with the UX UI. I'm sorry, yeah, the UX UI. Okay, yeah. So UI now, what is user interface? User interface are the visual elements, the buttons, the icons, the text, and what it does is that it focuses on interaction and ease. So when you're talking about the user interface now, we are talking about the visual element, how it looks, how does the buttons, the icons, the menus, the typography, the colors, the layout, how does it look? Is the product pleasing and easy to navigate? Is the product pleasing and easy to navigate? So now you think about some products. I think someone mentioned some apps that they downloaded. They didn't like the whole how it looks. Someone mentioned something about OP, the UI being bad. So now how it looks is very important. This thing you're seeing on the page, this example here, it's an example of very, very good UI. It's aesthetically pleasing to the eye. So you have to think about things that are like very, very pleasing to people. So imagine if you're running an ad for a product and they come to your website, or you've done your own digital marketing, the strategies I'm going to teach you if you implemented it, and you come to the website of the product you are marketing, and so something that is like looking very ugly, that is not looking pleasing to the customer's eye, they would not convert, just as you guys have had issues with it, terrible issues with different products. I don't think Opes UI is bad. I'm just saying that someone mentioned it here that they think Opes Opes UI is bad. But yeah, you have to understand that like okay, how something looks is very, very important to the customer. So you have to make sure that okay, when there's a landing page or when there's a website or an home page that people are going to land to when they see an ad, how appealing is it? How appealing is it? Then for the next one, which is the UX side of things now, it's not just about like how appealing something is, how easy it is to use, is it to use. Now, someone mentioned something that like when they're trying to download some things from, I don't know if it's Movie Box or whatever platform that was, there are a lot of ads to pop up or something like that. That's a very, very bad example of a user experience. Sometimes it's intentional because they want to make their money. But the user experience, it's bad for the customer because when you get somewhere and you can't navigate or you can't find where the home page is or you can't find where the about page is, the user experience has to be good on point. So those are two things that you have to know about, like how your website, your landing page, your product is going to be. So the UX is about like the overall experience your user has when interacting with your product or your services. So some of the things it focuses on is ease. So how easy it is to use, the products you bought, maybe some of the apps or websites, or even the physical products you opened, how is it to use? Then is this satisfactory? Um, how is it satisfactory? How satisfiable is it? Does it satisfy your needs? You also have to look at like, okay, how efficient is it? How does it feel generally to the person? How does it feel generally to the person? So these are two things that you have to think about: UI and the UX part of things. So the UI, we're talking about like the layout, typography, the images, forms, buttons, content, color scheme. So when you're talking about UI, you're just talking about the beauty. Then when you're talking about UX, you're talking about the experience. What experience are you giving to the customer? Are they going to be happy that they came here? Yes. Are they going to be happy that they came here? Use this. So think so. I also want to talk about like, okay, before I even talk more on this, why a digital marketer should understand the UI UX. So first of all, like I've spoken about this in events, but this is very, very important for us to grab, is that you have like a better campaign for performance. So whenever you do a campaign, whenever you run ads, whenever you put out content, whenever you put out something on social media, it helps the user learn. If the user lands on a confusing page that doesn't give them a good experience, or the page is ugly, like those people are not going to convert. You as a client, you as a customer, you as a prospect, if someone markets something to you and you get there and you don't like what you see, the odds of you actually using that thing, the odds of you actually signing up or paying is going to be terrible. It's going to be very, very low. So that's one thing you have to understand. Then we talk about like an improved customer journey. So very soon our tool is going to guide us on how to do like on the different stages of the funnels that we have. But if your UI UX is not good, the different stages of the funnel you're going to like fail in everything. So you have to understand that the UI UX is also important in that aspect. The UI UX also has like a very good strong brand perception. So when people come and think about your page, they're not going to think that that product that is not looking and that is looking anyhow, it's not looking so good, it's not looking so great. Yeah, you're not going to think about that. You're going to move on to like, okay, yes, I know your brand, like your brand is very good. The page is looking, I would love to even come back and keep using it. Why? Because you've won them over with a good user interface and a good user experience. So the interface and the experience have to be aligned. Have to be aligned. Another thing about like why a digital marketer needs this is that you can now understand like, okay, when things are going wrong, so you can know what confuses them, you can know what is helping them. If people come and say that they couldn't find um this particular thing, you know that okay, you can actually optimize for it. You know that okay, when you are doing your journey, when like okay, you are building your funnel, you know like okay, this is the issue where customers are having, this is where customers are falling off, this is where customers are jumping in. So those are things that you have to take into notes when like you're thinking about UI UX. And like I said, it's very, very important for a digital marketer. Imagine if you like invite people to a party and like you do your that which is your marketing, you've done the invitation, you've put the hype that this party is going to be very good, it's going to be very interesting. But when people come to the party, first of all, the house is messy. Like where you're hosting the party, it's like looking bad. Like it's not even like inviting at all. Our people can't find food. Probably there's supposed to be food, but before they could get food, it took hours, or they didn't know where to go for the food and everything. At the end of the day, the guests won't stay long. They won't even have a good time. And that's where your UI UX is now. So you had like bad food, confusing house, a confusing place, they couldn't find food. The experience of the party for them is zero, below average. And that is how you can apply UI UX to talking about design, talking about pages and everything. So what are the principles of the principles of a good UI UX? Consistency, clarity, and responsiveness.
Okay. So can you guys hear me? Yeah. So can you guys hear me? It's
Yeah, we
confirmed
can
you
hear
can hear
you.
me. All right.
Yeah.
So as like Amos has said, I used to tell most people that if you're a digital marketer, you must know. In my last class also, I mentioned that if you're a digital marketer, you must know a little about everything. And I think one of the questions that people were asking was that, do we specialize? And I'm like, for now, don't specialize. If you're a beginner, you don't specialize. All you do is to know a little about everything. Because most times when we hear UI UX, we immediately think UI UX designers because that's a thing on its own. But there are so many things that makes up what a digital marketer is. You must add Facebook ads, you must add copywriting, content creation, SEO, AI, UI, UX, everything must come together. So you must understand this. So even though you are not a UI UX designer, you should be able to look at a page and analyze a page and know what is wrong with that page. Because this is digital marketing. Everything that we're going to be doing is digital. Digital is different from your storefront. So when you go like, and we've analyzed this when we talked about the history of digital marketing. In the olden days, you go to a store, right? And when you get to a store, when you're finding it hard to navigate things, you don't get somebody to respond to you quickly. Even like, for example, right now, if you go to a store, let's say you go to all these shops and you're just standing there and nobody's coming to come and meet you and say, what do you want? What do you want to buy? And these are the things that you should buy. Or you go to a supermarket and you're looking for a particular product, and then you have to be walking and walking around. There's nobody there to say for you to ask that, where can I get this? Where can I get this? It's annoying and you can just leave there. So
Yes.
your website is your home, right? Your
Yes. Yes.
website is your home, and for you must guard your home, like every detail. When a customer, a lead, we're going to be defining who a lead is. When a customer comes to your page, they must be able to get every information that they need to take the particular action you want them to take. Right? So when they come to your page, do you have something that is inviting them? Like, how are the colors, first of all? Like some companies have a very, very bad color combination, and you don't know how important colors are. Just ordinary colors. You think colors are just colors, like I can just use any color, but you need to understand the psychology behind colors, how to use colors. So some of you need to go and study the color wheels, right? The meanings of all these colors, what purple means. Purple is not just purple. Purple has a color. Green is not just green. MTN knows the reason why it's using yellow, right? It has a meaning. The logos has a meaning. There are proper structures of how a good UI UX should look. You cannot go to a website now and then the logo will be in the middle of the website. It's not done, right? Logos are always at the left hand side. There are proper structures of how a website, how a sales page, how an opt-in page should look. Those are the things that are called basics. Even your mobile app, there are some mobile app that you will enter today and you just run back. Like you don't want to stay there for another 1 minute or 2 minutes. So that's why it's important that you learn it. And principles of good UI UX. Number one is consistency. How consistent are they in using colors? How consistent are they in using fonts? I know that you are a bad marketer when you send me your website and then I'm seeing 3 fonts in your website. I'm seeing even 2 fonts. I'm seeing different fonts. I know you're a bad marketer when you send me your website and I'm seeing different text sizes, maybe you even use the same font, but I'm seeing different text sizes. For example, for your body, you're having different text sizes, or for your headline, you're having different text sizes. For your subheadline, you're having different text sizes. I know you're a bad marketer when you send me your website and your texts are not properly aligned, right? I know that you're a bad. I know you're a bad marketer. I also know you're a bad marketer if your call to action buttons, in one call to action button you put red, in another call to action button you put black, in another call to action button you put yellow. I know you're a bad. I know you're a bad marketer. I'll know you're a bad marketer when you don't use the rule of third. And what do I mean by the rule of third? There are places where pictures, where graphics should be placed, right? And I will know that you're a bad UX. And I'll know you're a bad UX marketer um, when when I click on your call to action button and it's taking me a while. Like I have to wait a while. Do you know how annoying it is when you are in a shop and you are just like you're calling somebody, like you're calling somebody to attend to you, and then they are just attending to every other people. How annoying is that? Like I've left some shops because of that. Just because of that, like I'm just staying there and I'm expecting someone to come and attend to me. I know you're a bad UX marketer when you make your audience wait. Like so, one of the things that you must do as a digital marketer is that you must know how UI UX works. How responsive is this? Like, what are the colors? Like, what are the colors matching? Yeah, are the text properly aligned? Is there clarity? Is there hierarchy in the text? For example, I know you are a bad digital marketer when there's no hierarchy, there's no text hierarchy. Okay, what do you want them to see first? What do you want them to see first? Or what do you want them to what do you want them to do first if that is not clear? So one of the things that you must pay attention is the consistency in colors in everything that you're doing, right? The consistency of the color, the consistency of fonts, consistency of icons, consistency of buttons, right? And also clarity. So a good UI UX prioritize clarity. Clarity is the king of everything. Like if I am not clear on what you're doing, I think I mentioned something in our last class. I said how you communicate something is more important than the thing itself. And digital marketer is all about communication. It's all about making people see the value in what you're doing, right? And you must learn communication, and clarity is how you learn communication. The legibility, the kind of fonts that you're using. Like, are they all these fonts that a old woman, like for example, maybe your target audience are old people, they are people of age, and then the fonts they are using, they have to strain their eyes before they can see it. That damn, it tells me that you're a bad marketer. Okay, so clarity, um how you arrange your text, the white spaces, very very important. I think that we have to go and have some live examples so you understand all of these things. The white spaces, the legibility. What you have to bold text when you have to bold text. You don't bold text in irrelevant places. Okay, and then also responsiveness, right? So you must ensure that your website is responsive on mobile, on tablets. You see some websites, like if you go to their mobile, right, it's not properly optimized. But then if you go to their website is all fine, it's all good. And we're going to look at everything. I'm going to take you to WordPress. We're going to look at everything, okay? And then feedback also, right? So always provide feedback, right? So that people can take like forms, the forms, the buttons, messages to people when they come to your site. So those are just some basic understanding, and you must understand this as a digital marketer. I'm going to Guys, can you mention your favorite brand in the comment section, and let's go and look at their website and see if we can judge their UI UX. Just mention your favorite brand, then I will google them out and we'll go and see their UI UX. If you have a business here and you think that you have a good UI UX, just drop your website. We'll go and look at it. I hope it's somebody's favorite brand. Interesting. Please, let's not do financial institutions. Those are mainly banks, if possible, because those are mainly mobile and we're on laptop. So we want to check on laptop. So I'm just going to pick two at random. We look at them, and I'm going to pick on familiar brands. Okay, I'm still searching here. Sun King. Let's check Sun King. So we're going to check Sun King. We're also going to check. Uh, let's check Colgate. I'm going to stop sharing this so I can share my screen. Let's start with Colgate. So let me know if you can see my screen now. Okay, so immediately we got to this website, we invited with we take your privacy serious. This what this does is that, like, we want to give you cookies, right? So what cookies does is that it takes information about you, like it takes information about you. But now they're saying that we take your privacy seriously, blah blah blah. But one thing that you see here, first of all, is the consistency in colors. Even their private their cookie pop up is red, right? And I can see red all over, right? So I'll just say acceptor. So you can see the clarity in the text, and the background already communicates what they are all about. Smiles, right? So you can see the clarity in the text. You can see the bar up here. So it contains only three options, right? Products, then it's listed very arranged well. You can see hierarchy. You can see that the types here, the fonts here, and then the font size here is not different. It's the same, right? So you can say this is an average we have really good UI UX, right? So good UI UX experience. And what I was telling you about white spaces, you can see the white spaces at the edges. The white spaces at the edges. It gives room. It gives you a warmth feel, and it's accommodating. All right. And you can see how they arrange their products in kind of a carousel format. But this is very, very simple, right? And we can grade this a good 7.5 UI UX, right? About the program, though this one I don't really understand. There's no proper context. The mission, sustainability. So we can probably grade this an average UI UX, but there's more work to be done here. And one of the things that you do as a digital marketer is to be a consultant. Like, guys, understand this. You are not, if you are in any marketing role, any sales and marketing role, either you are a digital marketer, you're a copywriter, you are a Facebook ad specialist, anything that you want to specialize in, your work first is a consultant role. You are a consultant. You are to check for problems, see problems, analyze them, fish them out, identify them, and solve them, right? So there are always better ways to improve all of these things. So when you are hired, maybe when somebody hires you, and even if you have a business now and you are learning digital marketing to ensure that you are selling, you can go to yourself and go to your website and go and look at your website. How can I make this website better in form of the UI UX, in form of the user experience, in form of the colors, in form of the fonts? How can I make this better? Right? It's very, very important. And then let's look at Sun King also. You will see, you will notice one thing about all of this. They are consistent in their colors. They are consistent in their fonts and the size of their font. The hierarchy also. What they want you to see here, Sun King wants to see here is their big idea, which is connect to reliable, stressful solar energy with Sun King. Now we'll look at the meaning of big ideas later, right? But this is what they want you to see first. Hello Nigeria, connect to blah blah blah. Right? And you can see the call to actions are consistent. So you see yellow and black, yellow and black. This is actually nice. This is actually a nice design. Right? So another thing I'm going to share with you is that people buy based on emotions. People buy based on emotions, right? So all of these things, it makes them feel something. The colors that you use are very, very important. The fonts that you use are very, very important. Everything that you do when it comes to building a website, the content of it, every particular word, every call to action are important. Right? Everything is important. So we'll move on to I think we've touched on this, the good UI UX and things like that. So we'll move to sales funnel. Now here's where the real discussion is. Sales funnel, right? What do you understand by sales and marketing funnel? Let me ask in the chat box. What do you understand by sales and marketing funnel? We'll get there, Josephine. What do you understand by sales and marketing funnel? Awareness and conversion. This one basically means the customer journey. Very good. So sales funnel, I've already seen my answer. Sales funnel simply means the customer journey. Every customer has a journey. Every customer has a journey. Nobody comes to this like they don't just give birth to you, and you know some particular brands like right when they give birth to you. There's a point of contact. There's a point where you are still buying their vision, their idea. There was a point of maybe need or point of desperation, and then there's the point where you make the decision and you take the action, right? For every exchange of value, there's a journey, right? There's an awareness journey, there is an interaction journey, there's an interest journey, there's decision journey, there's the action journey, right? So the journey by which somebody takes from being a total stranger, right? A total stranger to being a customer, that journey is a funnel. Like you take them through that journey. You taking somebody through that journey is called a sales and marketing funnel. So, for example, when I bought, what product did I buy recently? When I bought my shoe, Itele, that's the name of the brand. I had never seen Itele anywhere before. All of a sudden, I was scrolling one day on Instagram and I saw an ad. I went to their Instagram page. I liked their shoes. I liked the way they arranged their Instagram page. I liked the arrangements, the layout, and everything. I went to their website, loved their website, and I started following them. So I started following them. I started seeing their posts every day. They were posting every day, and I started seeing their posts. Like one way or the other, like it was creating a shift in me that, and like it took me from being aware of them to liking them to then seeing testimonials, and then I was seeing people buying shoes from them and people were saying good things about them, and then it took me to I'm seriously considering buying a shoe from them, to me eventually making the decision to say, okay, take my money, I want your shoe, right? That journey, it took me like 6 months from the part where I got an awareness that there is a brand for a shoe, and then to the point where I actually said, now I want to buy your shoe. It took me 6 months. That journey is a sales. Is what they did was take me through a sales funnel. Okay, so what they did was take me through a sales funnel. So it's important for you to understand this, because it's true. Every business has a sales funnel. You either have a bad sales funnel or a good sales funnel. But if you are selling something, you have a sales funnel. It's either your sales funnel is just bad or it's good. As simple as that. Because if people are not getting aware of you, if people are not aware of your brand, it's not because like awareness does not exist. It's just because you're not doing enough awareness so that people can get aware of, like, can be aware of what you're selling. Right? So every brand has a sales funnel. It's either good or bad. So that's very important to know. Some people are saying my screen is not clear, so I'm going to stop sharing and share again. Or is my screen clear? I think it's better this way. Okay. So types of funnel, right? There are different types of funnel. There are different ways to take people through a journey, right? Some of you now, the marketing that you're doing is just, I've opened an Instagram page, right? And then what I will do is post every day, and people will see my Instagram page, and then they will send me a DM, and they will talk in the DM, and then they will make a purchase. That's an example of a funnel. All right, that's an example of a funnel. So, and a funnel like that is called Instagram funnel, right? If you have that kind of funnel, you can just drop I in the chat box. So some people run that kind of funnel. Some people, their funnel is okay, I'm going to post on Instagram, and then I'm going to put my link, the website to my WhatsApp on my Instagram. So if anybody wants to buy from me, if you click the link in my WhatsApp, then it leads to my WhatsApp, and then from my WhatsApp, we'll have a chat and they will buy from me. That's also a funnel, right? Every business has a funnel. Your funnel is either just good or bad, as simple as that. Now, but there are also advanced funnel when you want to take your traffic, the traffic that you're getting from all of these sites to become your own. I think last week also I explained the difference between two traffics. I said there's traffic that is your own, and there's traffic that belongs to the platform. For example, if you're on Instagram and your page is mainly an Instagram, like you run your business on Instagram. Today, if Mark says, I'm not more doing, I want to close Facebook, and he closes Facebook, all your followers does not belong to you. You're not taking them anywhere. You lose your followers. And I'm sure you must have heard of people saying they lost their account. If anything happens to Instagram today and maybe they just shut down for 3 days and all your contacts are on Instagram, all the people they are chatting with is on Instagram. I'm just using Instagram as an example, but this also applies to every social media platform, either in LinkedIn or Facebook. If anything decides to happen to those platforms today, your followers are gone, all your conversations are gone. Do you understand? So that's the difference between traffic that you own and traffic that you don't own. Traffic that you own means that you've gone past the level of just my Instagram followers, like I have Instagram followers, to actually collecting their details and having them stored somewhere so you can actually message them. One of those funnels is called lead generation, and it involves you collecting people's information. It involves you collecting people's information and actually making them your own. And we'll look at what leads mean, right? So there we have the lead generation funnel. So you can see these particular websites, right? So what they did here is that once you get to their website, there is a pop-up that comes up. We call these pop-up forms. When you go to a website, and then I don't know if I've gone to a website, and then once you enter the website, a pop-up form there's something just popped up, and they said that get this free stuff in your email right now. It's called a pop-up form, right? So this is a pop-up form. This is a way to get leads. So we call this lead generation funnels, right? So what we'll do is collect leads. One thing that you can do as a marketer, if you are marketing anything today, is that you can create, let's say you're marketing air, let's say you're an air vendor, you can create a free book on how to ensure that your air lasts 7 years. Create a free book so that when people come to your Instagram or Facebook, you can direct them to that link in your bio, tell them to download that link in your bio, and then when they want to download it, you ask for their name and their email. Once you ask for their name and their email and they submit it, now you now have their details. If one day Mark decides that Nigerians are not good enough for him and he closes Instagram, you still have the details of those people that showed interest in that particular ebook that you have created. Now you have generated leads. That's what I have done. Like, you've generated a lead. So now you have turned that traffic that was owned by Mark to traffic that is your own. Now you can now pick those emails. Those emails that you have gotten, you can still send them messages anytime you want. So far you have that list. As simple as that. So that's a lead generation funnel. Okay. Let's move to the next one. All of these questions that you're asking, we'll cover them. All email marketing and everything, we'll cover all of these questions. So don't worry. Just pay attention and make sure that you are learning. You can write those questions in your notepad and then there is this general product funnel. So general product funnel is maybe you are launching a brand now. You can launch a general launch funnel. Invite people to buy your products. This is like a normal funnel, right? So we'll move past this. I'll go to free trials. So if you go to Canva, right? How many of you use Canva? Right? If one regular invite you see from Canva is that they will tell you to join their pro, and they will give you like a 30 days free trial. That is a funnel. The ultimate goal of a funnel is that you buy. Okay, is that they take you through that journey and then you buy. So when you are using Canva and you are using the free plan, what they will tell you is that use 30 days free trial, like a 30 days, use our pro features for 30 days. Most times that's what they call um one step in the door, right? They call it one step in the door. So they want you to put your, like, they will ask for your card information and everything, and then you will use 30 days trial. Once you have done the 30 days trial, they will deduct from your account. So that's a funnel. Their main goal is that you buy. All right. So that's the goal of a funnel. So we have this free trial funnel. You will see so many times. They will say, come and test this thing for free. Test it for 7 days. Free trial for 7 days. Free trials for 30 days. Free trial for 90 days. They are taking you through a funnel. The ultimate goal is that you buy, is that you purchase something. All right, as simple as that. So let's look at another type of funnel, and then we'll go to. So we have webinar funnels. How many of you have been invited to a free webinar, and at the end of the free webinar they sold you something? So this is also like lead generation. Also, this works like lead generation, but most times it's just like in before digital marketing. Do you know how they used to launch books? Have you gone to a book launch before? What a book launch does is that if they want to launch a book, they will call you for a book launch. Then all of you will come, and then in the book launch they will do some. They will have a chairman and everything, and at the end of the book launch, they will tell you to buy the book, right? And Canva still did this recently. Canva did a program, a big event, right? They did a big event, and the big event they reviewed so many of their new products that are coming out, and they're already taking investors at the spot. Right? So what a webinar funnel is just that it calls people together like a video conference call, like a Zoom call. For example, if you are running a launch for your business, which kind of business can I use as an example? You can do a webinar, right? You can do a webinar, invite people for a free webinar where you're going to teach them stuff. And at the end of that webinar, you can say, okay, this is what, if you want to learn more, if you want to go a step higher, if you want to buy this product, here is the product, this is how much it costs, and buy. I use this funnel a lot. Like, this is my best funnel, and this is still the most effective funnel ever, especially if you are selling information products. So if you are here and you are selling information products, you are selling digital products online. This is actually one of the best funnels that you can use. Invite people for a free webinar, collect their names and collect their email list, and collect their email, have an email list, and then you can sell to them on the webinar. Now, if they don't buy on the webinar, you still have their email list, and you can still send them emails till they buy. All right, it's very important, right? And then website creation and page goals. Give me a moment. Okay. So website creation and page goals. When we come back from our break, we're going to go through websites, websites, the different pages in the website, home page, the product and service page, the about page, and things like that. All right. So when we come up for our break, we're going to look at that. Okay. But if you are getting value so far, just type value in the chat box. Let me know if you are following. If you are following so far, type value in the chat box. Let me see value in the chat box. If you are following. Okay. Please keep on commenting value in the chat box if you are getting value. If you are learning something new, just keep on commenting. Just keep on putting value in the chat box. All right. So we'll be back by 8:05 or thereabouts after you've taken your attendance. Hello, everyone. Okay, we are back. So, websites. So, for a website, there are typically 5 pages that you must pay attention to, or 4, right? Depending on your website goes. So depending on your website goals, one thing that you must pay attention to when you are designing a website or you are creating a website is what do I want my users to do, right? Because a typical website has different pages, and a typical website is like your home. It's like your home. Like every service should be on your website. So what are your products and services? What are the hierarchy? That must be fully analyzed and optimized. Then your home page. What does your home page entails? Your home page should normally contain your big idea. Like your home page should normally contain like what you stand for as a brand, what what you do as a brand. There must be context. Like when I land you on your page, the first three the first three things that I see on your page should tell me clearly what you're about, and that's what your own page should entail. So you will see things like the brand slogan or what the brand does. For example, when we went to Sun King's website, so we can say this is their own page, right? So this is what we are seeing immediately we get to their page. This is what we are seeing immediately we get to their page, and then we can see exactly what they are for, right, in their page, from their from this their big idea that is here, their tagline that they connects to reliable, stress-free solar energy with Sun, and then they give some social proofs here. So you can see Nigeria's leading home and business solar provider, installation warranty and sales care included. Pay your way, cash and carry for small payments with easy buy. Right, so you can see it gives context to who they are from their home page, and then there's a call to action. So this is practically everything that you want to contain in your website. But this is Solar King. You are functioning in different industries, so you must understand your industry. For example, if you are a hair vendor, or you are let's say you sell laptops now, your sales page will typically be different, right? So one thing that you must do as a digital marketer, one of the skills that is required for you to be a digital marketer, number one is research. In fact, you cannot succeed as a digital marketer if you don't know how to research. Some of the questions they are asking now, like if you really put yourself in research mode, and you understand how to research, you will not ask those questions. So one of the things that you will do when you are writing copies, when you are building websites, when you are doing your ads manager, when you are running ads, is to research, right? Everything that you do must be linked to research. You must understand the industry. You must understand the industry lingua. You must understand everything that happens in that industry. For example, if you want to create a website for your business now, and let's say you are a digital marketing agency, or you're a social media marketing agency, one thing the first things that you should first do is go and actually look for website of social media marketing agency. Look for their website and see how they are doing their website, and then you can take insights from how they are doing their website and ask yourself, how are you going to be different? How are you going to set yourself apart? Those are the things that you should do, right? One of the things I used to advise people to do also when they are learning copywriting or when they are learning any skill is to compile a list of 100 people that are doing what you are doing, or 100 companies that are doing what they are doing, and look at them, analyze all of them, right? And then come up with your own, angle, come up with your own differentiation. That's very, very important. So I'm just sharing this just to show you what a website should look like. So there is the products and service page, there's the about page, there's the contacts page, there's the blog page. So this is how a typical website should look like, right? And by as a digital marketer, you should be able to create a website. You should be able to create a website, though there are specialists involved in that. Now we'll go back to lead magnets. I know that we talked about lead generation funnel, and now we are talking about lead magnets. So a lead magnet, is what is used to attract a potential customer, or convince them to share their contact information with you. Now you see example of a lead magnet will be ebooks, will be free trials, will be webinars, discount codes, template and checklists. Now we'll talk about those ones, but let's just understand who a lead is. So who is a lead? So a lead is somebody that represents a potential customer who has shown interest in your product or service, and often through actions like downloading an ebook, subscribing to a newsletter, or filling out a contact form. I'm going to give you a more simple definition. A lead magnet is anybody that has shown interest in what you are doing by dropping their information. Anybody that gives you their information, their email, and their name, right, is a lead. Anybody that has shown interest in what you are doing by giving you their information, you ask them for their information and they gave you, that person is a lead. Somebody who is interested, right? And what a lead magnet does is to attract those people. For example, if you are looking for customers for your thrift and clothing brand, like maybe you sell thrifted clothes, and you're looking for customers, one thing that you can do is to ask yourself, what can I give for free, right? What can I give for free? Or what can I package for people that will make them give me their emails and their names? Or yeah, if for me, if Toby, like this is my own idea, if I'm the one selling thrift and created items, I'm going to create a maybe a master class or an ebook on how to know if a thrifted cloth is actually good, how to check for a quality thrifted shirt, because there are grades of thrifted shirts. So how can you check for like a grade of thrifted shirt? How can you check that okay, a thrifted shirt is actually good and it's quality and it's coming from the right places and things like that? I'll create an ebook that talks about all of those things, right? And I'll offer it for free on my Instagram. So when I'm posting my content, I might do some talking head videos aside from the normal videos that I do with my thrifted wear. I might do some talking head videos explaining how you get your thrifted dresses and things like that. And I would guide people to a link to download if they want to know how to check if their thrifted wear is original or not. And then I'll get people to that link. And once people go to that link and they submit their emails and their first name, I will know that these people are my leads, right? I'll know that these people are really interested. Anybody that will ask for that kind of information, or anybody that will be interested in getting that kind of information, is actually somebody who is interested in buying thrifted shirts. And now that person is a lead. So a lead is anybody that has shown interest by giving you their name and their email, right? Very, very important to know. And then how do you collect these leads that we're talking about? Like how do you collect these leads that we're talking about? We collect it through an opt-in page or an opt-in form. There's something called an opt-in page or an opt-in form. An opt-in form is the form that it's a website form that people will fill so that you can collect their details. So for example, the pop-out form that I showed you earlier, okay. So this, for example, is an opt-in form, right? So you opt in here. So you type your email here and you press download for free. So this is an opt-in form. I think I showed you one earlier also. Let me look for it. Yes, this is an opt-in form. This is called an opt-in form, right? And I will show you how to create it. I'll show you how to create it, all right? And guys, don't worry, like there's still a lot of things to do. Like some of the things that you will not understand it yet. So this is still basics. For example, we'll still go to email marketing. Because all of these things, they are connected to email marketing. All of this collecting leads, collecting people's information, they are more of email marketing. And most of the how you get all of these services most times is through an email marketing provider, like email marketing service provider. Something like providers like Flowdex, Mailchimp, um, Emailer, what the other Omnisend, things like that. Those are people that provide those kind of services, and we still get there. So don't just understand all of this thing that there's something called an opt-in page, right? And we'll learn how to create them as we go on in this course. So this is an example of an opt-in page. So an opt-in page is used to collect email lists. It's used to collect emails, right? It's used to collect emails. Let me show you an example, a live example here. Um, so here is one I just created for a client, right? So it's just this is just a simple opt-in page, yeah. And the goal of this opt-in page is to collect emails, right? So what they're offering here is like a free masterclass on scaling your coaching business. And then there's an opt-in page here, right? So the opt-in page is that drop your email, drop your name, and we'll send the masterclass to you. This is an opt-in page, as simple as that. Anything, the form that collects the page that collects the information that you need from your leads, it's called an opt-in page. As simple as that, right? So we'll learn how to create them later, and I'll even show you how to create forms like that on WordPress. And there are different ways to collect. Like for example, for a very very long time, how I collect leads, how I collected leads were through Google Forms. So for example, some of you don't even need all this complicated stuff, because when it comes to all these opt-in pages, they are paid plans. Some of them are paid plans, right? You can collect leads right now if you have a big magnet. Let's say you run information products, or you understand how to come up with all this information products, right? You can go to Google Forms. Just go to Google Forms on your laptop, right? Or on your phone. Download Google Forms on your phone and just create a Google form and put first name and put email there. And that's a lead form. That's an opt-in form right there. That's an opt-in form right there. So sometimes you don't even need all of this complicated tech, right? But you need to understand how it is, because tech is something that is advancing. Okay, tech is advancing, but once you have the knowledge, you know how a funnel works. That's what matters most importantly. Right? And in your final projects, you implement all of these things that are teaching. You implement them. So if as much as possible, take notes. You will get access to all of these slides. So go through the videos again and understand, because you have to implement all of these things in your final project. You will come up with a full campaign, a lead generation campaign, everything. A sales, you create a product, you will sell it, you will open Meta, you set all the ads, everything, a full campaign for your full project. So please, guys, just pay attention. You can come back to all of these things, but understand what I say here. And then now, Let's go to a sales page. Now, a sales page is different from a website. A website contains different it contains different pages, right? A website can contain your home page, a website will contain your products and services page, but a sales page is a dedicated web page, right? Designed to convince visitors to purchase a specific product or service. And the difference between a sales page and a website is that a sales page is dedicated to one thing. A sales page is dedicated to one thing, it's dedicated to one product and one product alone. Okay, sales page is dedicated to one product and one product alone, and the aim is to give you enough information for you to make a buying decision for that product. a, a sales page is, as the name implies, your sales page is meant to sell, right? A sales page is meant to sell, as simple as that. The sales page is meant to make you allow you make an informed decision. So it gives you all every information necessary for you to make an informed decision. And here are the functions of a sales page. We'll look at some examples of a sales page very, very soon. So function of a sales page must immediately capture visitors at visitors' interest, usually with a bold headline, a strong visual, or an emotional charged hook. So now we're going to structures. We'll still come back to content creation. I think next week we are looking at content creation, or I think it's this week. When we go to content creation and we'll go to content, we'll look at a little bit of copywriting, and you understand the goal of copywriting, how copywriting actually works. You understand the reasons why people buy. You understand the psychology of how people buy. You understand basic psychology. You understand how to write headlines. We'll go through how to write headlines, how to write hooks, how to write your call to actions, how to write benefits, features and benefits and everything. But just pay attention to this class. So a sales page must have an engaging hook that captures people's interest, right? So one of the things that you see on the sales page, you will not see the tagline of the business on the sales page. You will see an engaging hook, something that captures your interest, right? So again, a sales page, it clearly states the pressing problem. It must state the pressing problem, the needs, or the desire of the audience, right? As something they recognize and feel emotionally connected to. One thing that you notice is emotions. Marketing is all about emotions, right? People buy with emotions and then justify with logic later. Have you, like Amos said at the beginning of this class, most of you have bought something and immediately regretted it. The reason is because as at the time you were buying it, it was an emotional decision. Most people don't buy what they need, they buy what they want. All human beings buy what they want, and what you want is basically controlled by your emotions. You can survive with one shoe, but your emotional brain will tell you that once you have money, that you need another shoe. And most times you don't need, you just want another shoe. That's how marketing works. And what good marketers do is that they play on that want of yours, they play on that desires of yours, they play on that problem that you are constantly thinking about. They play on that, and then they sell something to you. So this is just about understanding people's emotion, understanding psychology. What marketing will help you to do is to be a police. You even make more informed buying decisions from now on, now that you're learning marketing. So you see most times we're always talking about emotions. The reason is because everything is connected to emotions, everything is connected to psychology, everything is connected to how people think, right? So the function of a sales page is to, first of all, talk about the pressing problem, you need the desires of the audience, okay? And then a sales page positions the product, the service, or offer as a solution to the problem, right? It positions the product or service as a solution to the problem. Now we're just going over some hierarchy of like what a sales page should entail, the function of what the sales page should entail. Now it will also entail testimonials, case studies, guarantees, trust, badges, credentials, or personal stories. We'll still look at examples of sales pages very, very soon. But what a sales page practically does is sell. And one of the things that you use to sell is called social proof. Social proof, testimonials, case studies, guarantees. And when we are looking at copywriting, I'll explain what guarantee means. But let me just give you a brief a brief meaning of what guarantee means. How many of you have seen 30 days guarantee, 30 days money back guarantee on a product? You have seen guaranteed on a product, maybe 30 days money back guarantee, um, 7 days money back guarantee. If you don't get value from this, or if you don't like it, you can return it. Even Jumia does the 7 day money back guarantee. If you buy something you don't like, within 7 days you can return it. And what guarantee does is that guarantee takes the risk off the buyer and places it on the seller. Now, every buying decision is a risk. You must understand that every buyer, when they are making a decision, what is on their head is that they are taking risks, they are taking risks, they are taking risks. Every buying decision is a risk, but what guarantee does is that it takes away that risk off off the buyer and places it on the seller. That means now when the buyer is coming and then the buyer sees a guarantee, now the risk has reduced. They say that, okay, I can buy this thing, I can give them my money and get this product. Now if I don't like it, I can return it. It takes away that risk of purchase, right? It takes away that risk of purchase. So that's very, very important. And guarantee is one important tool in digital marketing. A lot of people like have been scammed online. A lot of people have been scammed online. They've seen shaggy online, and then when you are selling and you don't put guarantee, you are selling selling thrift clothes, and you don't put guarantee, right? It makes me feel that you are putting the risk on me. That means if I buy it now and anything is wrong with it, I cannot return it or anything, right? So guarantee takes away the risk of the buyer, places on the seller. Now, what testimonial does is that people people believe what people say about you than what you say about yourself. People ultimately believe what people say about you than what you say about yourself. So as much as possible, you want testimonials for your products. One of the first things that you should do for any brand that you're working with, right, and they don't have testimonials, is getting testimonials for them. So that's one of the key things that you should do. Go as far as offering free services for people so that people will give you testimonials. Why a lot of brands do free when they first start is not just because they want to give it for free. It's because they want to get testimonials. They want to get feedback. They want to get testimonials so that when they charge people, there are people to say yes, like this is actually worth it, right? So guarantees are very, very important. What is case studies? Case studies and testimonials are similar, but what case study does is to tell the story of the person. For example, a testimonial will be like, I got so much value. I got so much value. This is 100% worth the price. I will advise anybody to buy this course. That's a testimonial. A case study will be, when I started this journey, I was in XYZ. It then Toby took me through ABC, and when he took me through ABC, I was able to overcome maybe EFG, and then now I am in WY. I'm in MNOP. So it explains it more. It gives a detailed breakdown of the journey. So it states the problem that the customer was experiencing before. Now it goes to what the solution helped with, and then the state that they are. So it's a case study is more broader than a testimonial. But what a sales page does is show all of these things so that you can get an informed decision. Then number two, another function of the sales page is that it highlights benefits, what the users gain, rather than listing just the features. Now, on a website, you can have your features. You can have the features. For example, if you are selling a laptop, and again, I'm going to briefly explain the difference between features and benefits. Features and benefits are not the same thing, right? Features and benefits are not the same thing. Features are what it is. Benefits are what it does for you, right? So another thing you must understand about marketing and sales is that everybody is thinking of what is needs for us. Like nobody ever buys something and you're thinking of the family of the seller. Like if I give this seller my money now, at least he will be able to eat, his family will be able to eat. Nobody buys a product that way. When you are buying a product, all you are thinking about is you, your desires. You're thinking about you. So everybody's all about what is the needs for them, right? Everybody's selfish and everybody's rational. So we're all thinking about what's needs for us. And we're not thinking about the person that's giving us anything, right? But um, when you mention features, helps explain like what that product is. But when you mention benefits, it helps explain what that product does for the people that are buying it, right? So benefits answers the question of what is needs for me. For example, a feature of a laptop can be it has a big screen, right? That's a feature. Maybe it has like I don't know the screen dimensions now. I've forgotten. Right? Maybe 6 inches screen or 34 inches screen, maybe a TV or something like that. And that's the future. The benefit is not like okay, because it has a 34 inches screen or 64 inches screen. What does that do for me? So benefits not tell you that because it has this screen, you can watch football matches at HD resolution. So now you are telling me exactly what it needs for me. So that's benefits. I hope you understand. Let me know if you understand the difference in benefits and features. We're still going to explain it well later, but yeah. So again, now it preempts answers common doubts or fears that might stop someone from buying. Now, there's something called objections, which is something that we'll be looking at again. There's something called objections. Now, what are objections? Objections are lies. Objections are excuses. Objections are misbeliefs that your customer believes. For example, a common objection will be that when people want to buy something, the common objection will be that will it work for me, right? Will it work for me? Or another objection will be like, I don't have the money, or I can't afford it, or I don't have the money at the moment. So those are objections. Objections are just like basically people making up excuses, like they're practical excuses not to buy, right? So there are questions that people have. Some of them are valid, some of them are not, right? There are some objections like I have to go and talk to somebody. If you are selling real estate, one of the objections that you face most times is this thing is expensive, right? So this thing is expensive. Like you want to sell land now, you are calling it 50 million. This thing is expensive. Another objection you might have that I need to talk to my business partner. I need to talk to my wife. So what the sales page does is that it helps answer those objections. It helps take care of those objections. That's what the sales page does. So it mentions those objections, takes care of them, answers them, right? That's what the sales one of the functions of the sales page. Another function of a sales page is that it shows social proof. I think I've explained it. Social proofs, reviews, data. Someone was asking, is testimonial different from feedback? Yes, testimonial is different from feedback, right? You can draw out testimonials from feedbacks, but not all feedbacks are good. Right? Some feedbacks are meant for you to improve your services. Some feedbacks are meant to help you improve on your services, right? Yeah. So again, especially encourage immediate action. Encourage immediate action. That's very important to know. And then it focuses on one goal. I said it before. It's really focused on one goal. The website can focus on different goals. Like it can different goals. There's contact page on the sales page. There's blogs on the sales page. There are different things on the sales page. But what a sales page does, right? There are different things on the website rather. But what a sales page does is that it focus on one goal, right? To sell, right? To sell a particular product and there's no distraction, There's no unrelated links or topics. Okay. So, like I mentioned before, a sales page appeals to emotions first, logic second. So, great sales pages make emotional connections first with storytelling, visuals, relatable problems, and then backed up with logical reasons to buy, right? And now we've mentioned, I think I've mentioned different steps of a funnel. Now we have mentioned opt-in page, I've mentioned sales page, mentioned website also. Then now there's checkout page. Checkout is just basically any payment gateway. For example, your payment gateway might be Stack, your Paystack, your payment gateway might be PayPal, your payment gateway might be Stripe. So all of these things come together to make up a funnel. They come together to make up a funnel. When you combine all of these things together, that's your awareness, consideration, and then they go to being to making a decision, and then they finally take action. All of these things come together to constitute what your sales page is. Or a seller also can be a payment gateway, right? It can be a checkout because seller has a checkout. Okay, so now let's look at one big idea in marketing. Now there's a principle called one big idea, and what that one big idea is like, it says that what that one big idea says that you must communicate one single idea, right? One single idea that resonates with the target audience and what sets your brand apart. One thing that you notice among top brands is that there is something that sets them apart, right? There's something that sets them apart. There's a message they're trying to communicate. There's a message they're trying to communicate. Every campaign has a big idea, right? For example, Nike, just do it. MTN, you understand? MTN, everywhere you go, um, every brand has one big idea, right? And that big idea is normally your slogan. Like what are you doing, or what are you doing differently that is separate from every other brand? So I'm going to rush quickly to let's go to websites now, because one of these classes that I want to show you how to create a website, or how to create a sales page, or how to create an opt-in page. It's very, very important that you understand all of those things. And now when it comes to websites, there are website builders, right? And for the purpose of this class, I'm not teaching you anything complicated, right? You don't I'm not teaching you anything complicated. You don't need to know how to code or anything, right? You don't need to know how to code or anything. There are simple ways to design websites, right? If you are familiar with how tech space are going on, you know that there are website builders. There is something like Wix. There is something like Weebly. There's something like Webflow. How many of you know any website builder here? No website builder. WordPress is a website builder. Card is a website builder. Yeah, Card is one popular one. It's a popular website builder. So hosting also has their own platform for website building. Yes, WordPress. So we're going to be looking at WordPress. Guys, don't worry, you get access to my slide later. You can go over them. You get access to my slide. Just pay attention to my voice. So Shopify also, yeah. So their website, yeah. So we'll go through WordPress. Now, I believe everybody should know how to get a domain and hosting by now. Everybody should know how to get a domain and hosting. If you don't know how to get a domain and hosting, just go to any hosting platform, right? Somebody mentioned Hostinga. Hostinga is an hosting platform. Namecheap is an hosting platform. Currently, it's Namecheap I use for my hosting platform, right? So if you don't have a domain, or you can get the domain and hosting, but you don't need a domain and hosting to actually have a website. So what this domain and hosting helps you to do is for branding. For example, I have my own website, tobiobafemi.com. I have other domain names also that I use for my offer. GoDaddy is a hosting platform also, so you can get a website from those people, and it's I think you'll be spending close to 70,000 naira now if you are getting a website. That means hosting and domain, right? Because of dollar rate and everything. But it's something that you can do. But now I'm going to show you on WordPress how how a typical page builder works, like everything from scratch. I have to rush because I have limited time here, right? So I'm going to take us through it now. Um, so I'm going to use this domain name. Abigail, go online, go to namecheap.com, and it's very very easy to buy a domain. Very very easy to buy a domain. It's just like you're shopping online, right? So, or you can go to Google, search Namecheap, and there are videos on how to buy a domain and hosting. Josephine, what is not clear? What is not clear? Let me know what's not clear. You can rewatch the videos if you're not understanding anything yet, or you can ask questions if you're not understanding anything yet. So this is how a WordPress dashboard looks like. Okay, this is how a WordPress dashboard looks like. If you buy a domain, for example, like you can once you buy a domain, you can install WordPress on your website on your hosting platform, right? You can install WordPress on your hosting platform. There are guides on how to do this. For example, Namecheap has a YouTube platform where you can watch everything there. Hosting has a YouTube platform where you can watch everything there, right? Um, for if you don't have money to buy a domain now, like for your project, you're not necessary. It's not necessary for you to buy a domain and a hosting platform. You can design your website with Wix. There's something called Wix. So if you check Wix, let me there's card also, right? There's card. See, so I'm searching them out now. Just give me a moment. No, not wiki, so Wix. Wix. You can search it on your system now. Wix and then card. CARRD. CARRD. There's another one. Yes. There's card also. CARRD, right? Those There is another one that I was using recently. That one contains everything. You can even do email marketing and everything. I think I'm going to look for it and send it to you guys. But there are free versions of all of. See, you don't need one kobo to build a sales funnel or a website in this present century. There are platforms where you can do everything for free. There are a lot of platforms that offer all of this thing for free. So even all these things, so I'm just showing you because when it comes to a normal setting, like you need to understand exactly how to actually build a page, right? You need to learn how to build a page, and all of these things they are they are quite easy, right? And they are similar. They are similar. So so let's just add a new page from scratch. I'm going to name this and then so I've created a link and I'm just going to publish, right? And then for me, I edit my pages with Elementor. Now, when you have if you have WordPress, you can install Elementor. It's as simple. So Elementor is another page builder. It's a plugin, right? So it's a plugin that with um you can use with WordPress. All of these things, guys, they are tech, they are online. Like Elementor has a YouTube page, you can learn it. I just want to show you exactly like some introduce you to all of these things. You need to go and do your research later. Like you need to spend time. There are sometimes there are 4 hours videos that I sit down to watch on Elementor to understand all of these things. Sometimes 5 hours videos. You need to sit down. You must you must immerse yourself in study. All of these things we can only show you surface level trainings in 2 hours, right? But then you need to immerse yourself after all of these teachings. Immerse yourself and then come to class and ask questions. Very important. Yes. So that is asking that. Can you hear me now? Okay. So let me refresh this. So someone has asked me a question that you don't need to. Yes. So for example, if you are just getting started now, like you want to learn all of these things, you don't need to buy a domain and hosting. Like you don't pay because once you pay for a domain, your time starts count your it starts counting. So you can learn with website builders like Wix. You can learn with Card. They are free, right? You can learn with all of those things, and there are tons of resources to help you to do all of these things. So this is what a typical page builder looks like, right? This is what a typical page builder looks like. And then this is WordPress using Elementor plugin to design. So Elementor is basically a plugin that gives you access to a lot of tools that you can. It gives you a lot of tools that you can add, right? And if you start like learning how to do all of these things, like today you can just go and sign up for card, right? CARRD, very important. Then tomorrow you can start doing some of these things that I'm doing. Now there are two ways to design. There is um there is the using teams, right? There's using teams. So teams are basically few existing templates that are on those things that you can just pick and design. And then there's editing from scratch, right? So you can pick a existing template and just edit, or you can decide to edit from scratch. Yes, so themes. So if you sign up on card now, you see templates are already there. So their templates are already there. You can take one of those templates and just start editing them, or you can edit from scratch. And when you're editing from scratch, it's just you drag and drop elements. So for example, let's say we want to create a simple opt-in page, for example. So drag and drop our elements. So we first create a right. So we are creating a session. So this is called a session um, on Elementor, right? And then we'll add our headline. Can add our headline like this. So we can say featuring, right? And you can go to style, center align it. I want to duplicate this. Right. So this is the headline. You can add forms here. So if you press add form, so this is form, right? So what we want in the form, name, email. We don't want message, so I'm just going to cancel message, right? So name and email. Um, Text. I don't want to add label. Right, and then add normal text. So for this class, we just do like a what you learn. Okay, I think I'll just put this here. So 5 things that you learn in this class, maybe how to run meta ads, how to create content for social media to attract buyers. I want to create sales funnel that positions you as the go expert. How to use AI to create stunning graphics for your products. Okay, so Meta Ads, YouTube, YouTube Ads, Google. So as simple as that, I'm going to add an headline here. What you will learn. And style it. Oh, I'm going to add space here. So add this. Okay, and we are good. Right, so this is us just creating an opt-in page. Our opt-in page is coming together. I'm going to add a small text here that enter your details. Okay. And we're done. So if I had enough time, I could still add like background colors and all of this, and then I published. Now the essence is just to show you how simple it is to create all of these things. This is WordPress. This is me using Elementor on WordPress, right? And also like for in the beginning we talked about UI UX, mobile optimization and everything. In your final project, you be required to design something like this. You design an opt-in, design a sales page from scratch, a website from scratch, and all of these things. Now, one thing that I'll be looking at is your how you are optimizing it, the designs and everything. Now, look at if you check the top of my screen, you see laptop view, there's tablet view, and then there's phone view. So you must ensure that all of these views they are easy to they are properly optimized, right? They are properly optimized. Yeah. So guys, you can practice. I'm trying to look for card now. Can practice with card. And as much as possible, don't wait to be spoon fed, because as a digital marketer, right, your first work is research. So go into all of these things. If you go to Namecheap has a YouTube channel, you learn all of these things, and then come and ask your questions. We'll have a 1 month mentorship session where we'll be treating also questions. So if you go to card, log in or create an account, you see already templates there. What I want you to do is to create an opt-in page. That's your assignment, right? To create an opt-in page. You are not to submit it, but you have to attempt it. I want you to attempt it. Create an opt-in page with card, like create an opt-in page. Um, if possible from scratch, do it from scratch. Don't use anything, or don't use any pre-existing templates. You can use your phone. Yes, you can use your phone to do it. So don't use anything, don't use any templates. Create it from scratch. Create an opt-in page from scratch. Get the form, get the headline, um, get the headline, the hook, and then what you learn part. Just create an opt-in page for your product. Pick a product and create an opt-in page. All right. So I'm going to stop here tonight. Let me know if you have gotten value so far. Just share, just put in the chat box value if you have gotten value so far. Have you gotten value so far? Have you gotten value so far? Keep it in the chat box. We are still here. This is just week 2 of an 8-week training. So there's still a lot for you to learn. So don't be nervous. Don't have anxiety. All of these things, you understand it. You will understand it with time. You can use your phone. Guys, you can start with your phone. Start with anything that you have. Start with anything that you have. The bottom line is that you're invested in this journey. Right? Start with everything that you have. In our next class, I'm going to share some of my story when I started digital marketing. Now I started digital marketing, and I literally started with anything I have. Right? So start with anything you have, and just get going. All right. Thank you, guys. I'll see you in our next class. Bye for now. Bye, everyone.